Welcome. My name is Carl Johann Schroeder, and this is my meetup called Inner Selves for Outer Mastery. Today we're going to cover a very special topic, special to me, special to all of us at this time in this world, how to really do the deep healing that would enable us to move beyond the negative personality types that we see that can really dominate our lives, that can cause the hurt that paralyzes us, that cripples us. That is really the most devastating emotion and experience we can have, is the kind of hurt, just hurt, that you can't function, you're injured for a while. And time can be a healer, time can heal all wounds, but time can also be what allows things to get worse, because we need to heal, we need to address the sources of the hurt that don't just go away, unfortunately. Why don't they just go away? Because it does start inside. That's why I call my meetup Inner Selves for Outer Mastery. We have an inner world we need to master. That is where all the dysfunctions, all the pain starts. But that doesn't mean that we blame ourselves. Don't take the negative voices. Don't take the negative beliefs. A lot of people have suffered for a long time with inner critics. And what's happening there is that those are the negative false belief systems that we need to master here on the planet Earth. Planet Earth is a kind of advanced school for creators. Congratulate yourself, pat yourself on the back. You've made it this far, and Earth is hard for a reason. It doesn't have to be hard anymore in the sense of impossible, painful, too stressful, wanting to give up. No. It will be challenging, however. It will continue to be challenging, but the challenging can be the kind of learning. Well, I like to imagine, the challenging, it can be as difficult as a wonderful school. Going to a wonderful school with wonderful classmates, wonderful teachers, to learn all the things you really most wanted to learn in life. That's the kind of challenge we're looking for. So you get total support, you get total friendship, total camaraderie, you get all the answers you need, and the studies are difficult material. They are challenging material, but you're meant to pass, you're meant to succeed. Everything is here to help you succeed. Today's topic is the deep healing, how to be done with narcissists, bullies, and martyrs. And I'm going to talk about specifically what those personality types mean, where they come from. So first of all, you can expect a really powerful understanding, a framework for what's going on in the world and why things have been so painful, so hard for so long, from causes that actually can make sense, that can be dealt with. So first of all, just congratulate ourselves. Like I said, I'm having a lower back twinge. I didn't expect this at all. So we need to see our bodies as our friends. Our bodies accumulate the kind of damages we experience from the hurt that is caused by the negativity, the negative personality types. And we have all been through a lot of trauma, and just take heart that trauma can be healed. But just understand that being on Earth is about mastering belief systems. There are two ways in which the universe loves you. And yes, the universe really does love you. Life really is for you. It's okay. Everything's going to work out. There are two ways the universe loves you. The first way is that the universe gives you everything you need to thrive. Everything. It totally knows you. It likes you. It understands you. It wants you to be the way you are. I'm getting really emotional about this, because there have been many times in my life when I'm just like, why am I this way? Why do I have the sensitivities I have? Why can I not do the things that other people can do so easily? And you feel the same way. It's okay. It's okay. Congratulate yourself for being you. You are meant to be you. You are meant to have the sensitivities you have. You are meant to have the needs you have. And you're meant to also have the strengths you have. Strengths that it may seem like nobody wants me to be the way I am. But there are people who want you to be the way you are. The thing is, as I said, the universe loves us in two ways. First of all, it totally knows who you are. It wants you to be the way you are. It totally likes you, totally supports you. has everything you need to thrive, has the right people for you to be with, the people who love you, who need what you have to offer and have to offer what you need. You see, needs are strengths when you're connected to the system of life. Just think about all the organs of your body. That's one example of a great system. Any one organ of your body would die on its own. But in combination, the organs thrive together and create this amazing human body that is your vehicle to be able to move around on the earth and see what a beautiful planet this is, and have your dreams and know what a beautiful life this could be. So your strengths and your needs are both strengths. Your gifts are given to you because you're meant to give your gifts to somebody. There are people who want you to be the way you are. You are a blessing. You are an answer to someone's prayers. You just need to meet them, and they need to meet you. People are getting emotional, and I'm getting emotional. This is intense, isn't it? It's wonderful. Let it be the kind of tears that heal the pain that's coming up for healing. I tell you, I am a spiritual teacher by passion, by nature. I'm not up on a pedestal to make money, to recite known, practices or, talk jargon or whatever. I'm here because this is what I have to do. I've spent my whole life being in connection with spirit and knowing that the universe loves us, especially a big awakening I had after college, because I had a fairly good protected childhood. My parents did the very best they could for me and my sister. And God bless them, they're all past now. My parents died fairly young. My sister died quite young. And all the rest of my family, they're just the kind of people who support dictators because they are so traumatized and confused, they don't even know what's for them and what's against them. So I have felt very alienated much of my life. And my parents were very traumatized. So I was kind of a second generation trauma victim. And if you're an empath, if you care about feelings and you pick up on feelings, there are multiple kinds of empaths. But people talk about empath generally just to mean that you're very, very sensitive. So you can be an emotional empath. You pick up on people's feelings. You can be a physical empath. You pick up on people's illnesses, body conditions. You can be a mental empath. I've been very much a mental empath. I pick up on people's thoughts and belief systems. I know why they're suffering, and I can't do anything about it because they won't listen to me. You've had situations, right? This is one of the reasons why people get into codependent relationships, because you care deeply about people, and you see somebody with their dysfunctions and how much they're suffering. And you know it connects to you, and you know that you're projecting a certain amount, but you just really want to help them, and you can't help them. They end up using you. They end up misunderstanding you. They end up twisting things around. It's a terrible thing to be demonized. You have to learn to let people go. You have to learn to have compassion and let people go, because they will find their own way. You have to learn when it's time to own some of those projections, some of the desperation to make things better. First, we have to rescue ourselves. It's a beautiful thing to want to rescue other people, but if you go down that path, and I'll talk about it in detail, if you go down the path of rescuing other people at your expense, you will become the victim of all kinds of abusive personalities. You got to realize there are times when, hey, the mirror is pointing back at me. The first person who needs help is me. So it's a beautiful thing to be an empath, to be very sensitive. It's a beautiful thing to pick up on how damaged the world is and how much it needs you. And it's also really vital. You have to take care of yourself first. It's the oxygen mask first they talk about on an airplane. You've got to take care of yourself first. And there are people who want to help you and take care of you too. But again, as I said, you're going to be separated from them from false beliefs. So the mastery here is false belief systems. We're here because of the second way that the universe loves you. The first way is that it totally loves you for who you are, gives you everything, has friends for you, has all the resources you need. All your strengths and all your needs are all strengths together because you're part of a growing system. You're part of a body of the universe. You are a child of the universe. You belong here. Your gifts, what you're meant to do, they are appreciated. They belong somewhere. The thing is, there is a second way the universe will love you. The second way the universe loves you is that it's going to reflect your beliefs back to you. If you believe you're unworthy, you will get people who mistreat you as if you're unworthy. And it's not true. It's not true. And there will always be things to help you to realize that you are worthy. But if you hold on to beliefs that you're not worthy, beliefs that you picked up from somewhere, that abusers pounded into you, that treated you so unworthily that you felt, maybe it's true, I am unworthy. And it's so painful to think false beliefs. It's devastating. I have been very, very sensitive. As I said, like one of the kinds of empathy is being a mental empath, being able to pick up on thoughts and being very sensitive to thoughts. I've been very sensitive to false beliefs all my life. And I've just been, I get this roller coaster. You can get these roller coaster effects. Times when you feel so good, connected with the source in that first kind of love where I am good and the universe loves me and wants me to be the way I am. And then you look at the world and it's like, where's the disconnect? What's happening? Because now the inner critics are coming up. The false beliefs are coming up. And you start thinking like, oh no, I'm not good enough. Oh no, I made mistakes. Oh no, whenever you go down that path of like how bad you are, how it's hopeless, how you have to give up, you had your chance, but only one chance and you blew it years ago, and look at everyone else, they're so ahead of you, they'll never catch up, you might as well give up. Those kind of thoughts, they're devastating, they're traumatizing, re-traumatizing, because they keep the cycle of trauma going. You need to realize, get some space, be your own friend. One of the things I love to talk about is the spirit and human partnership. Be your own friend. You need to realize that our belief systems matter. We are creators. Beliefs, they're more than just your attitude. They're more than just like, oh yeah, I'm cheerful today, or oh yeah, I'm kind of down today. No, your beliefs go deeper than that. Yeah, there's a level. I talked a couple weeks ago about beliefs that people can understand beliefs in 4 ways. First of all, just like I believe that I like this and I don't like that. To have personal preferences, that's beautiful. You are an individual. You are meant to like certain things and not like other things. And people can disagree with you and people can fight you and say, you're not right, you're not supposed to like that. Well, don't like them, okay? Just add them to your list of things you don't like if they can't be supportive of you being an individual who likes certain things. And the next level of beliefs is a kind of human potential psychology where you have a good attitude. Like I'm going to get the best things in life by having the most cheerful attitude. I believe that there are good things for me out there and I have to wear my best outfit and my best smile and say the best things for the job interview or for the date or for whatever. And yeah, that can get you a certain distance. But what happens one of the times when you feel really bad? Well, then you're supposed to just hide. No, you're not supposed to just hide. Remember, your needs are strengths when you're connected to a living system. But your needs become weaknesses that you have to hide when you're not connected to a living system. And what's more, your strengths become weaknesses that you have to hide when you're not connected to a living system. And that's where all the abusers come in, is because they are not connected to a living system. They don't care about people. They're dehumanized. They have their own abuse. Abusers have their own history of abuse. They're just perpetuating what was done to them. They cannot face people who remind them of their own abuse. That's why we see these people who act like, oh, I'm so strong, I'm a dictator, like, vote for me, I'll take care of you. It's like, come on, if you were so strong, then you would go out there and deal with the big problems and protect people. You're not strong. You're running out there and picking on the weakest people. You're lining up your victims. You're killing the people who need help the most. That's not a sign of strength. Come on. These people are kidding themselves. That's what a bully does. They're just attacking anybody who reminds them of their own weaknesses. So their own strengths become weaknesses when they're not connected to the system. So you, as somebody who is on the spiritual path, who's willing to do some of this, what they call the shadow work, wrestling with your demons, facing the dark night of your soul, all that kind of stuff, clearing out, letting this stuff come up for healing, letting it come up for healing. You're willing to face that stuff because you are truly strong and the universe is there for you in that first way of loving you. The universe will take care of you. And as I said, the second way that the universe will love you is that it will reflect your beliefs to you, because beliefs are what create reality. You've got to have some kind of indication, some kind of reminder, some kind of examples of what different beliefs, different lifestyles will do to you. There are dictators, there are cruel people in the world, in your life, not because the world is a bad place, but because you needed reminders, you needed examples, you needed handles on, you needed illustrations of trauma, of false beliefs, of what happens to people when they go down the wrong path. So you need to fundamentally be your own best friend. I mentioned that concept. Be your own best friend. You are both human being who's living under and inside of belief systems, and you are also a spiritual consciousness who lives above belief systems. Those are the times when you step back and you reflect on things and you're like, oh my God, I do care about myself. I have gifts. I can be a beautiful person. Why isn't anyone giving me a chance? Where do I belong? Where can I thrive? The world could be such a beautiful place. Why? That's all of your spiritual self. You need to be strong enough in your spiritual self, supported, not an independent kind of tough guy strength, but we're talking a strength of being connected to the living system of the universe that will support you and supply you. When you're in your spiritual self and you step back from your human self who's been suffering, and you say, my God, I mean, things could be better. Why aren't they better? Open up to, okay, I am in the spiritual level. I've got some height on my belief systems and the way things have been. I want things to be better. Open up to and ask for higher help. Be part of that living, loving universe that is a system that will provide for you, that will keep giving you solutions step by step. The catastrophizing mind that has been traumatized and is looking out, you go into the PTSD of like, oh my God, all the things that could happen, that happened to me once before, that could happen again. Try to calm it down. Just try to say, look, I need to step back in this moment, just maximize your safety in this moment. In this moment, I'm going to get more present with myself. I'm going to be my friend to myself so that you can feel. You need to start from the grounding of the human condition. Be in your body as much as you can. Ground and be present and realistic. And hug a pet, sing a song, smell a flower. Give yourself some good food. Rest as much as you can. Anything you can do to comfort yourself as a human being. To give the signal to the universe. To let yourself know, I am here for me. I am going to rescue me. I'm going to take care of me. That will give you some strength to get an assessment on the present situation, to accept your current emotions, current condition, and you will naturally rise somewhat above the belief systems to that spirit level, the spiritual consciousness level, where you start getting some perspective on things, and you start getting a little more hopeful. And it's like, oh, I do remember. There are people like Carl, who talk about the way things really are and who give me some hope and some ideas, and you take the best practices and your best dreams and your best hopes. And that's, of course, when the negative beliefs will attack you the most, because you're all alone. You're all by yourself, and you're alone with your memories, and you're alone with your inner critics, and you're alone with your negative beliefs. And then you will be hit by wave upon wave of the thoughts that will say you're the worst and it's too late and you should just give up and you're worthless, and none of that's true. None of that, absolutely the opposite of what's true. That's the whole point of false negative beliefs. They are false, they are not true, and they are negative. They are cruel, they are mean, they are hurtful. Okay, they are just not the way the universe really works. So be your own best friend. Be your spiritual self who will comfort yourself and say, hey, all the people that say you're too hard on yourself, you're mean, or I've been beating myself up. No, I'm not beating myself. My negative beliefs have been beating myself up. The just get some distance. Take care of yourself. You know that how would you treat a friend? You wouldn't treat a friend by telling them how worthless they are. You wouldn't treat a friend by, criticizing everything they did, showing, like, oh, no matter what you do, it's not good enough. That's not how you would treat someone. So that's not you. It's not you. Okay, they are false negative beliefs. And there are people who are so run by their false negative beliefs that they are going to attack anyone who needs help because they can't deal with the idea that they need help. So that's why you first be human and get grounded, and then you start rising above your beliefs, and you will experience all of the negative thoughts, and you will keep being your friend. You're like, no, that's not the real me. That's what people talk about. Earth is a challenging place. Earth is a school for advanced creators. You are actually a strong enough soul, a strong enough spirit that you knew you could be here, so that you could master the false beliefs enough to then get to that first way that the universe loves you, which is complete thriving, complete joy, complete happiness. Don't worry about the problems in the world. How much? Yes, I mean there are terrible things that need to be fixed in the world and need healing. But all of the healing can come very quickly. Scientists, biologists, they always find like, wow, nature bounces back faster than we ever imagined it could, just given the chance. There are all these stories of like, this really devastated, deforested area, some nature preservists buy it, and then within a generation or so, it's like, wow, I can't believe it. The animals are back. The underbrush is growing. Trees are starting to grow. It's like nature will bounce back faster than you can imagine. Why? Because systems are self-supporting and self-thriving in ways that are holistic, are exponential, are faster than you can imagine. So don't worry about the solutions. Worry about clearing up the negativity, the false negative beliefs. So yes, you will. I have had it happen so many times where I get connected with my flow, I get connected with my source, with the universe, how much it loves me, the many spiritual experiences I've had in my life. I will have a clarity on my past so that I can let go of my very judgmental, can be very cruel relatives, and I can have compassion for my parents who did their best. They were not cruel to me, but they held in a lot of damage. So my mother, she had childhood trauma from her father was just a monster, the kind of person that people are glad when they die. It's like my whole mother's side, they're all traumatized. Many of them are alcoholics, are abusers, are dictator supporters. I can't even talk to them. And then my mother, she escaped that system, but she couldn't deal with healing it. She was like, I encouraged her, Mom, would you get some therapy? She's like, oh, no. Therapy is for, really messed up people. It's like, well, Mom, I go to therapy. It's like, oh, well, are you saying I'm messed up? Oh, well, I didn't mean that. But, it's like, it's just, she did the best she could. And then my father, he was a boy in Nazi Germany. I get really emotional, not even just because of growing up with that legacy of my father leaving Nazi Germany as soon as he could after the war. But I've also tapped into my past life that I was an underground resistance fighter in Munich. And in college, I visited Munich. I dated a woman who was a German studies major, and she spent a year in Munich, and I was like, I had so many emotional, intense flashbacks. And of course, we're all having flashbacks to all kinds of trauma now because we've got wannabe dictators all over the place. And the United States, we've got people who are weaponizing our own government against us, our own systems that were meant to be, what would help people thrive and what helped us to become one of the greatest nations on earth, not without our problems. Oh my God, so much still needs healing. How the Native Americans have been treated, how the African Americans have been treated, how, all of these things. But yeah, we still have a basic system that supports and protects people, but we've got people who are using that against us, who are using the letter of the law, not the spirit of law, to distort and attack the weak people. Again, not because they're strong, because they are themselves weak, and they're trying to destroy any reminders of their own inner weakness. So it's a really, really tough time. But like I said, so my parents both had a lot of trauma. They were both, my mother was a grade school teacher, really sweet, very, very much loved by the community, small town in New York State. My father was a community leader. He did everything, an overachiever who died pretty young from the stress. But I mean, he was in the Lions Club, he was in the Masons, he was on the volunteer firemen, he was on the town planning board, he was a sergeant in the Army Corps of Engineers, taking pride in building Girl Scout camps, that kind of thing. That's his idea of the Army. You do things to help people. Anyway, but yeah, so I mean, I came out of being an empath with people who had a lot of trauma, and just as I was saying, like I've had a lot of spiritual experiences, a big spiritual awakening after college, just very clear, like the universe just broadcasting that first kind of love. It's like, Carl, the universe is alive. We love you. We're going to help you. And then of course I just ran out to make the world a better place because I was running from my own negative beliefs, the inner critics that it took me a long time to face. Because when you face your own inner negativity, boy, that's really tough. That's like the enemy's inside the walls. I can't even see it clearly. I'm just thinking thoughts that cripple me with how bad they say I am and that kind of stuff. So, but like I said, just do your best to be your own best friend. The human being accepting where you are, rising above your beliefs, getting some perspective on things and calling in more help, calling in the angels, calling in the ascended masters, calling in your own soul, which has many parts to it, your future self, who knows the next solution you need, because all time is simultaneous. One of the great truths that the mystics have known for many thousands of years and the physicists have known for over a century, Einstein in 1905 showed that space-time is one thing and it's all connected, and there's no way to say that there's a past, present, or future. It's just, they call it block time. It's all there somehow. So somehow we create stories, we create experiences in time, but it's all a present moment. We're all here now. And in one direction, we sort of create a story of the past to explain how we got here. And then in the other direction, we create a story of the future of what we think we can create. But those pasts and futures are shifting all the time. We call them memories. But really, it's just when a different part of our total life, our total being comes into focus. We're connecting with the energy of a time that we remember as the past, and we call it a memory. But don't worry, your memories, all of your best memories are peak experiences. They are portals. They are always there for you to reconnect with. So one of the great pains in life is when you think, I lost a great moment. Somebody died who was supportive of me. I lost these great things. No, you never lose anything, okay? Everything, it's always rising tide. It's lifting all boats. So let all parts of yourself be moving upward with the best things that happen in your life. Just be very clear. It's important to be present. This is why the present moment is so valuable. The universe is helping you to connect the dots. I like to think of life as connecting pearls, stringing pearls. All your best moments are to be connected in ways so that you realize nothing good is ever lost. You're always growing, you're always gaining, you're always learning more about how the universe loves you in that first major way that the universe directly, totally supports you, knows who you are, likes who you are, and wants to give you everything you need to thrive. And that second way that the universe loves you, that's the complex one. That's where some worlds, not all worlds, but some worlds like Earth offer, big offering. Well, but the idea of it offers us an opportunity to have a lot of negative experiences, a lot of painful, hurtful experiences that didn't have to be, but they are experienced through belief systems. So let me finish what I was saying earlier about belief systems. The 4 levels of belief systems. First, you can believe that you like something, and that makes you an individual. Stand up for that. If people put you down for what you like, then you don't like them. But you are meant to like what you like. You're meant to be an individual. You have certain gifts, certain spiritual gifts, certain strengths that will open up as you explore what you personally really like and enjoy, where you're meant to be. Follow your flow. So secondly, that Second level of beliefs, you can believe that there are certain things you can do to get more of what you like. You can dress for success. You can be cheerful. You can be smiling all the time. But that's very stressful. You don't get to be a full human being. You don't get to be your vulnerable self. Hopefully you have some friends then who will let your guard down and just cry when you need to cry, and definitely always be your own best friend. Accept yourself for where you are. Third way that beliefs work, you can believe these metaphysical concepts, that law of attraction, that anything is possible if you just have the right attitude, the right beliefs. And it is true, but it's not as true as just sort of the metaphysical powerhouse. Okay, there's a lot of power manifesting that just ends up adding more to the inner critics, more fire to the inner critics. I did my affirmations, but every time I said I am worthy, I felt unworthy. Every time I said that I am doing great things, I am having a great life, it's like, no, I just felt like I'm not. I'm lying to myself. That's because you don't want to lie to yourself. Because metaphysics alone, just being a power manifester, all these success stories like you too can make $1 million, or, I visualized the perfect house and then I got it. It's like, crap, forget it, okay? It may work for some people, and those are the people you may see, prancing back and forth, the big motivational speakers. It's like, hey, you can do it too, I did it. It's like, no, you can't necessarily do what somebody else did, and they can't do what you did. Everyone is unique. So don't try to fulfill that becomes the negative ego, the false image of like, hey, I can be as rich as I want. You don't want to be as rich as you might imagine. You want to have just enough to do what you really care about. Build on that first level of beliefs, that you believe there are things that you like and things that you don't like. You're meant to be an individual. So the fourth level of belief is that you believe that the universe is alive and it loves you, that you have a soul, that you have a way to thrive, that there are spiritual beings, that there are guides, that there are ascended masters, friendly ETs, nature spirits, angels, interdimensionals, more things than we can imagine that love you and want to help you. So let them hold your high vibration. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be the power manifester. I'm always on. That's why I got what I got. No. If you're always on, you're going to neglect yourself. You're going to be in denial of when you're down and you need to be your own best friend and help yourself. No, you've got to get to that fourth level of belief where you believe that the universe is powerful and it loves you enough that you can be vulnerable. You can be weak. You can be safe. You don't be weak to just everybody. You don't project, like, I need a source. I need somebody who totally loves me and protects me. And therefore what? I confess everything to somebody who then later backstabs me. That's the basis of so many codependent relationships. We had such a beautiful image of what was possible with this person. They awakened our desires to love someone and be loved. And, we did so much for the relationship, and then they turned out to be using us all along. Or maybe, nobody, I don't believe anybody's 100%, evil, narcissist, whatever. I mean, there can be some good moments, absolutely. But at some point you realize, like, man, this person is not the source. This person is not the one that I really need to trust. Right, because you need to reach the source that's through you. You don't have to be the source either. You don't have to be the totally powerful, perfect one either. But the source is within you. It is accessed through you. So let there be a source. That's the fourth level of belief. When you reach that you believe the universe is good, that it's on your side, that despite all the pockets of false negative beliefs and all the people who believe those false negative beliefs and become dangerous, you can be guided around everything that's dangerous in life. So you don't have to have the world be perfect, or else it's all against you. That's the fragility. That's the spiritual bypassing. When people are, you can connect to the hopes and dreams of the spiritual level, and then you're like, oh my God, it better be this way right now. Like, let me check. And it's like, oh no, it's all against me again. It's like people flip-flop, It's like, you don't want to flip-flop. You want to be realistic. The real universe is totally realistic with you. The real universe loves you and will guide you and will say, yeah, that person, you can only trust them this far and no more. And that person over there has the next thing you need to help you. Right now you need to just be your own best friend. The real universe will guide you, and you will be safe even though the world is still a mess. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for such a strong connection at the spiritual level, that fourth level of belief, so that you don't have to be strong. No one has to be strong for you, and you don't have to deny that you are a unique individual with your own preferences, your own strengths and weaknesses, because your weaknesses are just your needs, and your needs are your strengths when you're connected to the system. Every organ in your body is not trying to live on its own. There was some Russian play called The Nose, I think by Chekhov or somebody, but basically a politician's nose like ran off his face and just tried to take over everything. Just an absurdist play, just trying to make that point of like, look, no part of your body tries to run everything. And you look in nature, there are predators and prey, but nature is about balance in the ecosystems and, the continuing journey of things live and then things die and then live again and the seasons turning around and around. Nowhere in nature do we see examples of dictators or a single species that says we're superior, wipe out all the other species. No. Living systems, no. They depend on the whole system to thrive. They want to support the whole system, and the whole system supports them. So let the whole system support you. So I see I've done well enough time in my inspired introduction here. I want to conclude on this one point. So reaching that fourth level of belief and understanding there's that first way that the universe loves you. It's a direct, powerful, it knows you, it wants you to be the way you are. That is the ideal lifestyle. That is the direct love lifestyle that we're looking for. There's no negativity needed there. Just positive beliefs, real, true, positive beliefs. They let through the truth of the universe, how much it loves you, how much it will guide you and help you to heal every step of the way. False beliefs are false. The main thing about false beliefs is that they're telling you that the system doesn't work, that there are enemies. You need to focus on what to get rid of. That's what we see with all of the bullies, all of the dictators, all of the evils that are going on in the world. It's from people who are focused on what to get rid of. They can't even get past the first level of belief that there are things that they like. They can't even think about what they like. They can only focus on what they dislike. The other, got to get rid of that. And negativity isn't just about the mean people. It's about the victims too. This isn't about blaming the victims, because we need to understand that everybody is a victim of negativity. So negative beliefs are about the disempowerment. They disconnect you from the real universe that would support you and love you and help you. Ideally, in the real universe, you would still be a creator. You could make mistakes. Oh, let me try this belief. Do I believe that I should be a dentist? I tried it. I really didn't like being a dentist. I wasn't good at it. It's like, okay, well, that was a false belief. It wasn't that negative. You tried it. Fine. That's how life can be. Just you try things, you make some mistakes, you realize quickly, people help you, no problem. We're deep in negativity, though. We are in a world where people are so scared of their true sensitivities, their true nature, their true likes and dislikes, that they are just focused on what can I eliminate? What can I get rid of next to make me look powerful when I'm really actually weak, and I don't want anyone to realize how weak I am. So that's what negativity is about. Negativity is a blockage lifestyle, I would call it. So there are two lifestyles. There's the ideal lifestyle where you're letting the universe love you and support you, and you can make mistakes. You don't have to be perfect. You have times of strength. You have times of need. It's all strong because you're part of a living system. That's ideal. That's wonderful. And then there's a false lifestyle, a blockage lifestyle, where all you can think about is what you can't do. You're blocked all the time. All you think of is your enemies, and you just obsess about how to get rid of them. And you may hate yourself for being a scared, hateful person, or you may love yourself. You think like, oh, I'm the greatest, hateful, cruel person. But either way, in a blockage lifestyle, you're going to experience that compulsion to get rid of things and obsess about what is after you. And that is not the way the universe really works. So we're going to talk a lot more in the main talk about how the system works and how to heal yourself. But I think already you've gotten a clear sense of like, hey, Carl is like really laying it on the way it is. This is the true challenge we're facing on Earth. So welcome. Thank you everyone for being here. Let's have some wonderful time of check-ins and sharing. Okay, I'm going to describe now the format that we use for the check-ins, for the sharings. I encourage you to pause the recording and do this for yourself, because it's going to help you to center, ground, and balance your energy in this challenging subject material. And then I'll be sharing some highlights from the conversation we had based on the check-ins. What I suggest is for a check-in, 3 main parts. First of all, say your name and where you're calling from, just to ground yourself. Easy enough, right? Name and where you're calling from. Secondly, say a little something about how you're doing in the 4 levels of the human experience, just to get real, to get authentic here. It isn't a big, like dump everything session, but it is like, hey, this is where I'm at. So where are you at physically? What's going on physically? Where are you at emotionally? What kind of feelings are you working on? Where are you at mentally? What kind of thoughts you're dealing with? And where are you at spiritually? What kind of values, what kind of inspirations, what kind of dreams and hopes keep you going? So physically, emotionally, feelings, mentally, thoughts, spiritually, values. And then from that, just kind of look at this topic of that Carl's presenting about what kind of deep healing to be done with, to be free of narcissists, bullies, and martyrs. What kind of needs do you have in that area? What would you hope the meeting can help you with today? What are you looking to get out of? What answers do you need?
So it's not just like kindness, it's over the top things I'm not asking for. And then when I have a boundary, it's nope, and there's a whole different side coming out.
So you have to decide. We have to decide when is someone just triggering our stuff versus when is someone like playing with our stuff, making it worse. And it always comes back to the self-love. You got to. The thing is, we have been told in so many ways by culture that you got to love others, you got to sacrifice stuff for others, you're not a good person if you don't do all this stuff for others. It's bullcrap. Forget it. Okay, it's like I know that there's the whole image of, well, Jesus, he was so wonderful. I mean, I come from the Christian tradition, the real Jesus. Okay, we're not talking about the churchianity, this term, a friend of mine was saying churchianity, the false Christianity. Like, no, the real Jesus was really wonderful, and he allowed himself to be killed he was really just showing what kind of people there are in the world, so you have no false illusions. Okay, you really need to take care of yourself. He said, we will do better things, we will do greater things than he did, including we can take care of ourselves and be guided and not have to make the kind of sacrifice he made. So look, we don't want to make sacrifices. My point is just love yourself 100%, love others adequately. And that's a phrase I got from a spiritual teacher named Lazarus.
What makes it just kind of this repetitive, unproductive, thinking is kind of like, because it's just you thinking those thoughts by yourself. It's kind of like the wheels can spin forever. And I'm starting to see part of the value people having seen therapists is simply to make what would have been rumination into a conversation instead. But right. Anyway, that's beside the point.
No, that's really good. Can I stop for a second? I love that. Like, turn rumination into conversation. Whether it's a conversation with yourself or with another person, don't be alone with it. And also I wanted to clarify, rumination, any kind of repetitive action, whether it's, OCD, those are all forms of anxiety.
For sure.
Anxiety, the way anxiety works, I'll talk about it more, but anxiety turns into an action. Some kind of repetitive action is a sign of trying to self-comfort for an anxiety. It's a way that if the body stays active, it actually feels a little better. So whether it's active, repetitive thoughts or repetitive actions, obsessing about something, they're all manifestations of anxiety. What I want to further clarify is the reason why a behavior becomes an obsessive rumination, whatever, it's a strength that becomes a weakness. When we're in anxiety, we're under some threat. And in a state of threat, the body, the human being, will just naturally turn to its strengths. So something that was a strength for us, like, your critical analytical thinking, becomes a weakness because your body, your mind, keeps doing it to try to fend off a threat. So a strength becomes a weakness when it's repeated to try to defend against a threat.
What's the phrase I'm looking to say? Cases of mistaken identity.
Can I suggest something? I love what you're saying, and it just popped in my head.
Yes.
An example of reframing and a better label, because for years I would associate with that label of the wounded healer, which is a really valid, important concept that people take on the challenges that they want to learn how to heal in themselves, and then they'll become strong enough to be able to offer that to others. So the wounded healers are often, the great leaders in life. They went through that. Now they can really teach it. But I also kind of like the wounded healer. I don't want to always be a wounded healer. And then it popped in my head, be a self-healing healer. That was always the point, to be a self-healing healer. So
I love that.
yeah, I totally agree with let your labels evolve to be more and more positive and open-ended.
That's right. That's right.